Hey, my name is Brad Lord. I'm currently training for my second marathon, the Chicago Marathon. And I want to help you run your first marathon. Hey, my name is Brad Lord, and I'm going to share 10 tips with you if you're training for your first marathon. Currently, I'm training for the Chicago Marathon, but last year I ran the Huntsville Rocket City Marathon in Alabama. Now, if I knew then what I know now, I probably would have had experienced a lot more success. But I'm going to share with you some great tips, things that you can go ahead and start to apply to yourself while you're training. And if you are taking this route to train for a marathon, I want you to know you're doing something that's spectacular, amazing. 26.2 miles is a long way. I believe everybody, if they set their mind to it, has what it takes to accomplish this. If you like this video, go ahead and click the subscribe button and the like button. I knew before training for my first marathon was that you need to cross train. If you do not cross train, it will lead to injury. I thought I could just run and run and run, but what I mean by cross training is do things other than run. So for example, you could go biking or go swimming, something that could still build your endurance but have a low impact on your body. Especially marathon running is typically on a road. So running on a road or pavement or sidewalks, it will take a pounding on your knees over time. So other options could also be maybe running off on a trail or just kind of a beaten path, or even running on a field with grass. But definitely cross train. Even maybe a little bit of resistance training like weights could help. And even just getting out, maybe playing basketball, playing with your kids, doing things like that. So if you're following a schedule and it says cross train, take advantage of that day, do it. All right, tip number 2 of things I wish I knew before I ran my first marathon. I didn't know you could get injured running. I've always been active. I've always ran for exercise. But I've never ran extremely long distances like what it takes to do a marathon. I just really simply didn't know you could get injured running. Kind of piggybacking off the cross training. So that is why you cross train, is mainly for injury prevention. Now I definitely got injured running, and it was pain I've never experienced before. First I developed plantar fasciitis in my left foot. It went away briefly before the marathon, but as soon as after I ran it, it came back, and it came back hard. It was very painful. Also, about mile 10 in the marathon, I developed IT band syndrome. Some people also call it runner's knee, but it also extremely painful. I could not run whatsoever. It was fine when I walked, but when I ran, it was excruciating pain. Still paranoid about it returning, even though I'm 2 months out from the Chicago Marathon. But yeah, you can get injured running, so you got to take care of your body. right, tip number 3. Invest in a good pair of running shoes. Running's not like cycling, where if you're a heavy cycler, you're probably spending thousands of dollars on bikes and gear. Really, to run, you just need a pair of shoes and a pair of shorts, and you can go. So shoes are important, and I say this, and this kind of piggybacks off injury. I developed plantar fasciitis after running in a pair of trail shoes, and I ran probably over 200 miles in them while I was training. I spent like 80 bucks on a pair of shoes. They were Asics. They were Asics trail running shoes, and probably a great pair of shoes to do some minor trail running in. But over time, man, I think that's what it did. I think it helped develop plantar fasciitis. So I really did my research, started watching guys like Seth James Damore and Kofuzi, and they do a ton of shoe reviews. And so I started watching those and paying attention to the different types. Now, there's all kinds of running shoes. You don't need to make it overcomplicated, but I recommend going to a good, like, specialized running shoe store and getting sized. You need to find out if you pronate, if you're neutral, and things like that. Most running shoe stores have a machine you can stand in, and it will analyze your feet, or go to a podiatrist. But there's different kinds. You got shoes that are really plush, kind of like the Hokas. You have shoes kind of like that's kind of in the middle. The Brooks Ghost 11s or 12s, the Brooks Ghost series. They're kind of in the middle when it comes. They're a neutral shoe. Then you have like a zero drop shoe. Now the drop of a shoe is basically how high your heels will sit up from the ground, from the front of the shoe. So some shoes have a really high drop where your heel sits up above your toe, and then some have no drop at all, and they're called zero drops. And those are just like my Ultra Torrens. They are zero drop. They really make your foot feel like they stretch. Then I have a new shoe that they almost feel like a negative drop, like my toes sit above my heel almost. But they are called Newtons, and they're really extremely lightweight, and to me they feel like a racing shoe. So you can have some shoes that are just for training. I mean, you can race in all shoes, but once you kind of get familiar with what feels good on your foot, you'll kind of figure it out on your own. But you need to invest in a great pair of running shoes. Justify it by, you know, you're not spending thousands of dollars on a bicycle. You're kind of doing a lot of, again, health and injury prevention by putting money in a shoe. Especially if you're committed to running a marathon, you are going to put some miles, and if you don't have a great pair of shoes, you're going to get injured. So shoes are very important. My fourth tip of things I wish I knew before running a marathon was that you can't always prepare for the weather. When me and my buddy ran the Rocket City Marathon in Huntsville, it was in December. It was 44 degrees or lower the whole race, and it rained the whole race. So it seemed like whatever we did to plan for it didn't work. About the best thing we could do was buy like a cheap poncho. If we wore too many clothes, we were gonna get soaking wet and waterlogged. If we wore too little, you're gonna get freezing cold. So we kind of had to use our preparation and training as fuel to get through it. I mean, we had ran all year and trained for it. Like today, I'm blessed with beautiful skies. It's not too humid today. Even if it's raining and I'm training, you know, sometimes you just got to go out there and do it anyway. Part of that develops that mental toughness aspect, because I promise you, a lot of a marathon is mental. 26 miles is a long way. If you can use those those bad weather days as fuel. It will definitely help you when you're like in the pain cave during a marathon. All right, my 5th tip for today is follow a training plan. Now, when I first started, when I had this idea that I was gonna run a marathon in December of 2017, I was just gonna wing it. I had no idea. I was clueless. I didn't know you should follow a training plan. Like I said, I've always been active. I've always used running as exercise, but I've never imagined the magnitude of miles that you have to put in. So I didn't realize I needed a training plan until I started hanging out and running with other people that actually ran. Then I realized the importance of keeping a schedule, staying committed, and having an idea like what you need to do that day. Now, I'm currently doing the Hal Higdon novice plan, and I did something similar last year for the first marathon. I got a plan to follow. I got something to go by. I can prepare for what I need to do weeks in advance. I even went as far this year as to starting my plan early, so if I needed it, I could have a week off to recover, or if I was going on vacation and I wouldn't be able to put those miles in that I have scheduled for that week. Make a plan. If you've never ran one, I suggest doing a novice plan. Don't jump into an experienced expert plan if you've never done it before. Also, when I found other people to run with, we started having an accountability thing. I mean, it's hard not to get up at 5 in the morning and go run when you got somebody out there waiting on you. And I don't know about you, but I kind of like to stick to my word. So if I know I got somebody and I said I'm going to do something, I'm going to go do it. So find a plan that works for you. Find some shoes that fit you. Cross train, and be cautious of injuries. So those are the 5 tips I'm going to share today. Stay tuned for the next episode, and I got 5 more great tips that'll help you on your first marathon. Again, thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button and give me a follow. Hit the like button too. See you next time.